I don't think he's coming. Greetings, film fans. I'm Rory Cashin. Welcome to the Big Reviewski. No own this week. No ownership.
Who?
Nothing.
Known. Who?
Okay. So we are, as always, joined by Justine and Paul. Justine, you're over there.
I am over here. It's weird not being over there.
It's
musical chairs.
I'm facing you the way I normally do, but it's all wrong.
So everything's
The only
changed.
reason I know I was thrown off this week, it's the musk. You know, I'm missing Rory's musk. It's not as, like, Justine's a lovely smell, but it's different.
Mine's slightly more feminine, I think, than Justine's.
Yeah.
Like you were hanging out in a lot of like bars, and I'd say
holy.
a lot where Hustlers was filmed. A lot of those sort of locations, you know. Yeah.
Well, people don't know this, but
Husky.
Jennifer Lopez's character in Hustlers is actually based on me. So
I did think that when I saw it.
well, that was. Remember her scene? That was my very first day in JOE.
Yeah.
I just came right
you brought
in.
in those heels. I remember.
Throwing that money around.
And you got to make your money. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Instantly promoted.
And to the big chair.
Here we are.
That's how you get a rise.
He's in charge of the whole tone of the show. It's going to go really
This
downhill.
is going to be
Yeah,
great.
this is gonna be
I'm
one of the
excited.
It's going to be the
episodes.
sexiest shows.
And also one of the more seasonal ones because even though technically we're not in December yet, we are in the last week of November. And by the time the next episode comes out, we are into December. So I think this is okay. We're on the
I've got
we
a
haven't
red
got the Christmas
shirt.
decorations up, but we
No.
are digging them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the other guy's off doing. The one do you know what's his name? He always in here every week.
Yeah.
He's off getting decorations.
He's up in the attic.
Your man.
Santa.
He's untangling the
That
lights.
fella's
and-
always trying to get us to go to Derry, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
yeah. He's up
Loves
there
bridges.
getting the big fan of bridges.
Oh.
So lots on this week.
Mm-hmm.
Lots on. We've two really, really big films to talk about. We have the new Charlie's Angels.
You should have done the pose, all three of us. It's perfect.
Well, which one? All right. So which one would you be then? Let's not say this one. Say the original one. Not the original one either. The 20.
Do you want to be
2000.
Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu?
I want to be Cameron Diaz. Of course I do.
Rory, you're not happy with this decision
I'm just
straight away?
curious as to what you're going to say.
Drew Barrymore. Definitely.
leaves
Drew
me
Barrymore
with-
is definitely me.
So I'm Lucy Liu. No, sorry. I mean,
That seems fair.
thinking about it. Yeah, that makes.
I think we made the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even by default, I was left with what it was meant to be. So we're reviewing the new Charlie's Angels, which is actually produced by Drew Barrymore, but she's not in it.
Oh.
And we're also reviewing Knives Out, which has everyone famous in the world.
This is
in
going to
it.
be fun. This is a fun week of
good.
films.
Yeah, everything's
it's
like
really-
a.
Yeah.
Excited.
And to start off the fun, the big question,
yes.
which is
So,
a fun question.
Yeah, and it's getting seasonal.
See?
You know, I was thinking earlier, it's like this is kind of the grey area or the sleigh area for Christmas.
Oh, Jesus.
Sleigh as in reindeer.
No, and I got
you
the
got
joke.
that? Yeah. Oh, just make it.
You don't have the pen already, do you?
don't.
No.
I just
okay.
noticed that.
The ink ran out marking off the terrible jokes last week, so I had to get a new one.
Surely you framed that joke from last week. It's up on the wall.
Oh, I'm getting it like a GIF like on my tombstone of
Glorious.
the bridge joke. If you don't know what we're talking about, do go back and watch.
Go back and check
just
out
that
last
specific joke.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it. Showing friends and family, strangers. It was a good time. Let's see if you can approve upon sleigh area.
week. Yeah.
It can only go up from
It
there.
can really only go up. So this week, my question is, what is your favourite Christmas film?
See, I was thinking about this, and in my mind, there are two types of Christmas movies.
Yes,
There
and
are-
I should have maybe.
No, I think it's
clarified.
okay. I think leaving it wide open.
it opens it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's the Christmas movie that is about Christmas, and then there's the
Thematically.
Christmas movie that is just happens to be set at Christmas.
Yes.
All of Shane back to career.
Exactly. So I think it tells a lot about the person, the kind of Christmas movie that they go for.
Yes.
What did you go for?
So I had a toss up between two films I was struggling with because
Owen?
Oh.
Owen? Are
I
you
know
in there?
I have to represent him some way.
All right.
Okay.
He who must not be named this week, in my view.
But because I'm one of those people, and I want to get your opinion. Die Hard, is it a Christmas film?
Yes.
Definitively, yes.
Thank God. So
Because
that
it falls
was,
under category B. It's set on Christmas
yes,
Eve. So
exactly. So that was my alternative option. I did
Okay.
not go for it, and the film I went for was Love Actually.
Which definitely is
100% category
category
A.
A.
and B, I guess, because it's set at Christmas.
Yeah, like I think it's very much it's about Christmas and how it can bring out the best and worst.
And the worst.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love so much about this film, because there's so many stories and you see good stories and really heartwarming stories, and then scenes like this where it's like Alan Rickman just how anyone can cheat on Emma Thompson.
Don't.
First off,
talk
spoiler
about it.
alert if you haven't seen Love Actually.
But did he cheat
Because
on
his
her?
mistress was hot.
Did he cheat on her?
That's why I have to try and tell myself sometimes. I'm like, no, maybe he didn't. Maybe he
In
didn't.
his
tell you
mind, he
what.
did, and that's almost as bad. Like,
I'll tell you what. Jeez. I'll tell you what. We'll go to the clip,
yeah.
and then we'll come back and because let's go to the clip.
Yeah.
Could we be quite quick, please?
Prontissimo.
What's that?
It's a cinnamon stick, sir.
Actually, I really can't wait.
Oh, you won't regret it, sir.
Want to bet?
It is but the work of a moment. There we go. Almost finished.
Almost finished. What else can there be? You're going to dip it in yogurt? Cover it with chocolate buttons?
Oh, no, sir. We're going to pop it in the Christmas box.
But I don't want a Christmas box.
But you said you wanted it gift wrapped, sir.
I did.
This is the final flourish.
I don't know. See, Rowan Atkinson is like he's almost like a Christmas angel. Almost.
Yes. This scene is so funny. It's just, I love Rowan Atkinson. And it's only after doing a bit of research that I discovered that Richard Curtis directed Mr. Bean. Like, I'm like, oh my God, it all adds up now. Like, there were so many films
Did
I
he do
didn't
some
realise.
Blackadder as well?
He did Blackadder
and
and
the Vicar of Dibley, yeah.
I had my mind blown. So this was really educational.
Like, obviously, Richard Curtis is a genius. People have a love-hate relationship with Love Actually. People either love it or they think it's everything that's wrong with Christmas movies. I don't know. Like, he did, like, all right, so Rowan Atkinson here is obviously trying to delay him so he can't buy the necklace.
Yeah. He's not even trying to delay him. He's just doing his job, going over the top.
I don't know, because he appears later on and he helps the young fella get through the airport, which definitely couldn't happen these days because that young fella would get shot.
Okay. If
he tried to run through the airport.
Probably by Liam Neeson.
So yeah, I never considered him as being like
he's like a Christmas angel person.
Wow,
but
that's another layer.
That's a good take on it.
Rickman gets the necklace anyway. Buys it for his attractive assistant lady.
Yes.
But Emma Thompson?
Is
How do you cheat on Emma Thompson?
And the daughter
And
is
she's
the
so good with
lobster.
the kids as well. Like, and he's just, I'm planning my affair.
Yeah.
There's one scene where she sees, you find out later, it's her brother, Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
And she gives him a hug and she cracks. She's like so happy to see him. And I was like, oh no, my emotions, they're all my emotions are coming out at once.
And like, there's just so many the different individual stories. I can see myself in some of them, like the little kid who wants to learn drums to impress the girl in his school. I'm like Thomas Sangster. I'm like, oh my God, that's so pure as a kid. And then the girl playing lobster in the nativity play. That is just.
Is that what it's
we've all
supposed to be
been
like unrequited love, long distance love, love at first sight,
Love at a porn set.
Yeah, exactly.
just-
Love on a
That's
porn
the love
set.
that
all
lasts.
relatable.
That's real love. That's like physical, love.
So this is one that I watch. I'd watch that any time of year, but every time it comes around to Christmas, I have to watch this film again. It just gets me in the spirit. I'm not a big Christmassy person, so this tries to make me get more into the zone for it. Tries to.
Martine McCutcheon, remember her? She
She had a perfect moment.
Yeah.
Didn't she? That was the song,
The
wasn't
It
it?
was.
The songs.
You didn't
this
think I'd
film.
know that, did you?
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so that's Love Actually.
Yeah.
Paul, you went for Die Hard, didn't you?
I did indeed. and for
I was thinking, is there a single mention of Christmas in Predator? No, he went for Die Hard.
But I would argue that the scene I have is the single greatest moment of a Christmas party. And in fact, the Die Hard is set on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
You have loads of music. You got the Christmas trees there.
Yep.
There is a love story in the middle of it. You got Holly McClane and John McClane and a strange
Long
marriage that come
distance.
together.
Yeah.
You got friendship there between Al,
Yeah.
the police officer, and John McClane.
Beautiful.
Like an instant friendship. Granted, there's C4 explosives and terrorists and bullets flying around everywhere, but you know, it's still friendship.
They overcame that.
Yeah,
It's so
you've got a
pure.
Grinch character in The Exceptional Thief, Hans Gruber.
Sure, yeah.
Technically,
yeah.
stealing bearer bonds, but also Christmas. Like, you know, thematically stealing Christmas away from people, holding them hostage.
Going for a stretch here, but
You could say
Yeah.
he's cancelled Christmas in this and in Robin Hood.
and Prince Thieves. But I went for Die Hard for this sole reason, and it's Harry Ellis at every Christmas party, and I don't care what work you're in, you will meet a Harry Ellis.
yeah, you will.
Well,
The
let's
arrogant, self-centered,
Yeah.
Bubby, I'm your white knight. This guy.
well
Yeah.
let's have a look at the clip, and then while we're off camera, discuss who in the Joe office this is.
Me.
Hey, babe, I negotiate $1 million deals for breakfast. I think I can handle this Euro trash. Hey, frequency talk, huh?
If you listen to me, he would be neutralized already.
I don't want neutral, I want dead.
Hope I'm not interrupting.
What does he want?
It's not what I want, it's what I can give you. Look, let's be straight, okay? It's obvious you're not some dumb schmuck up here to snatch a few purses, am I right?
You're very perceptive.
I watch 60 Minutes. I say to myself, these guys are professional, they're motivated, they're happening, i.e., they want something, huh? Now, personally, I couldn't care less about your politics. Maybe you're pissed off at the camel jockeys, maybe it's the Hebes, Northern Ireland. It's none of my business. I figure you're here to negotiate, am I right?
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
Hey, business is business. You use a gun, I use a fountain pen. What's the difference? Let's put it in my terms. You're here in a hostile takeover. You grab us for some green mail, but you didn't expect some poison pill was going to be running around in the building. Am I right? Hans, Bobby, I'm your white knight.
I must have missed 60 Minutes. What are you saying?
The guy upstairs is fucking things up, huh? I can give him to you.
So obviously, Die Hard, great action, really good characters for an action film. Like, you actually do invest in the story. But this guy is just the living embodiment of every asshole you will come across in every Christmas party you meet. Overconfident, coked off his eyeballs, thinks he actually knows what he's doing. Bit of a misogynist as well, bit of an ass, thinks he just has notions and just annoys everyone in the party and just, makes everyone's life a misery.
And
I feel like he's not here, but I feel like you are just talking about Owen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
He's not really defend
he even has a
himself.
beard. You know, kind of has that own vibe.
And he does call us Bubby all the time. It's really off-putting.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Die Hard it's a classic action movie. Justine almost went for it.
I did.
It's like a perfect film. It's perfect.
Yeah, I really do think the friendship, though, like between the cop and John, is so beautiful. It is so beautiful.
yeah.
Like, just someone that you've never met before. They're only communicating through these.
Very easy to overlook
walkie-talkies.
the fact he shot a kid, though. Kind of, yeah.
I shot a kid.
Yeah, that's like... It's,
But that's how much I love that friendship, that he reached a point of, I'm going to open up to this man. I'm like, oh my God, in the space of
Yeah.
this movie, this man has made...
there's that moment when McLean's like, tell Holly if you find her, tell her a bum like me wasn't good enough for her. It's like, it's actually kind of like, oh, he's never going to get back to his family on Christmas.
It's incredible. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about him shooting a kid.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
No,
And
not
then Die Hard 2.
But I'm happy for John McClane to kill every person in this film whatsoever.
He has a machine gun now.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Die Hard 2 was also Christmas.
With Colin Meaney, who we had.
Die Hard 3 is middle of July, I think.
Yeah, summer in because they had Summer in the City on the soundtrack. So it was
And
all
then Die
like,
Hard 4 is also, I think it's around Independence Day.
yes, it is.
And then Die Hard 5 is in Russia, where
No one knows what
I don't
the hell.
know if they have calendars.
John Moore didn't even know what Die Hard 5 was, and he made it. So, yeah.
Yeah. But fantastic choice. I could sit here and just watch that silent clip of that film. Just
But like,
to go over and over
there's
again.
so many like character, like tiny roles in this that you could say like they deserve a film of their own. Like Argyle, the limo driver, is great.
He's brilliant.
Carl, the guy's brother gets killed. He looks really pissed off. Like, he's a great character. You got Al. It's just, and there's a terrorist there who's eating a Crunch bar, I remember, with like an Uzi. I just want to hang out with him as well. It was just like, and also
He's got a good taste for chocolate.
all
too.
the time we're talking about Joe Takagi, one of like the greatest cinematic bosses of all time. In that scene when he's like, not giving him the code and lovely suit.
Yeah,
you know,
I could sit around
it's
I
just
could talk about men's fashion all day.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I
The lines are fantastic. And that's Alan Rickman's first ever movie role at 42. And this is how he starts.
Alan Rickman between Love Actually and Die Hard. Alan Rickman owns Christmas.
That's what I was saying. I was going to add that in. I'm like, hang on, does he own?
Hang
Christmas.
on.
He's Santa Claus.
What a crossover.
Yeah.
And he's a bad guy.
And
in
Harry
both.
Potter's on every Christmas as well.
Yeah. And he's cancelled Christmas and that other thing.
There you go.
Earlier. Yikes. So I correctly guessed yours, and I know you
know me.
You've correctly guessed mine, haven't you?
It's got some leather, some whips,
Yeah.
electrocution,
Yeah.
mild torture.
Yeah.
A model getting, I think, brutally murdered at an unveiling at Christmas.
It's Frozen.
Yeah. And it's also got penguins, it's also got cats, and it's also got bats, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It is, of course, Batman Returns.
Beautiful.
Because for me, it's not really Christmas until you start BDSMing.
Of course. Tis the season.
I just like, again, I think this,
I would
this
love
is
to go to
category.
Christmas dinner at your house.
No, you wouldn't. It's not a lot of eating. So,
Explain yourself.
so yeah, like this is category B. It's obviously set at Christmas, but I think as well, it's like bringing out the best in people at Christmas time. Because Selena Kyle, prior to her back alley interactions with the cats,
I guess
which I think she's brought back from the dead after falling 19 stories,
because
having
cats-
been pushed out a window by the mad-haired Christopher Walken. She becomes her true self. This is who she was always supposed to be, and she's just like, look at her, like Anne Hathaway, get out of here.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway. And has there been Zoe Kravitz is the new Catwoman, which will be interesting.
I was yelling Eartha Kitt in the show, wasn't it? She was a good Catwoman as well.
She was a good Catwoman, yeah, but there wasn't a lot of
leather.
whatever's going on here. This was a real iconic, landmark moment in my my youth. And
What a youth.
what a youth! It's left a mark. And here is a clip from Batman Returns.
Admiring your handiwork.
Touring the riot scene. Gravely assessing the devastation. Upstanding mayor stuff.
You're not the mayor.
Things change.
What do you want?
The direct approach. I admire that in a man with a mask. You don't really think you'll win, do you?
Things change.
Meow.
So yeah, there's Danny DeVito as well. Obviously, he's
Yeah.
fantastic in this. I think it took the Oscars and I guess Hollywood a minute to catch up on how amazing actors can be in movies like this, because DeVito in this is insanely good.
When he gay crashes
So
the
good.
when the duck comes up, he just like the entire room, like he owns that entire room, and you believe that. No, I loved this performance, and also it's beautiful to look at. The scene when the first showdown in Gotham Square when they're lighting the tree is just incredible action.
Oh, and then there's this bit where she just arrives and has the most perfect introduction to the hero and the villain, where she just a single word and then wrecks the gaff, which is exactly how you want a Christmas party to go.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. And DeVito's all on board for Colin Farrell potentially being the new Penguin.
Wow.
Which is he's a very handsome Penguin, to be fair.
You got to scare him or something.
Yeah.
Also, did you not feel a bit sorry for the penguin in this? Because like, it's the bit when the baby's just left there and floating. It's really sad.
Well, it's basically like the
ugly duckling type scenario.
It's exactly the same as it was actually exactly opposite as Bruce Wayne, where he instead of having his parents taken away, his rich parents threw him away. And then he's like, I want to find my parents, but he really doesn't. He just wants their money.
And also, penguins with rocket launchers. Like that, how can you not like that?
It's an immediate win for me.
Yeah.
So, Love Actually, Die Hard, Batman Returns, I think it... What?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think Owen's guess would have been Elf. I'm going to put him down as
He's
Elf.
a big Love Actually man, though. I know that as well.
He does love Love Actually.
Because I love Elf too, but...
He does love Love
I'd say
does,
Elf,
does Frozen constitute as a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Even
it's got snow in it.
It's got snow in it, but is it set at... I don't think it falls under either of the categories.
Oh, really?
Showgirls.
He can tell us next week.
My guess is Elf.
Showgirls.
It's the season.
They've got stockings, Christmas stockings, stuff like that. Let's try it. You white Showgirls. It's a Christmas movie.
So, yes, if you've got any of your own favourite Christmas movies, please do let us know on Twitter at Big Reviewski or any of the social media channels that this will be going
Or go
on.
around to your house for Christmas Day and tell you.
Yeah, right down the chimney. Just let me know.
Wear the leather.
Yeah, there's a safe word and a password. It's tough to get in and even harder to get out. So the big trailer this week it's a little bit different because normally, as the name would suggest, it is a trailer. But instead for this, I've gone with a behind-the-scenes featurette because I seen the trailer for 1917. And I was like, oh, it's Sam Mendes. It's a World War I movie. It's Roger Deakins. It's got a very eclectic cast. Cumberbatch, Andrew Scott.
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
My bae. I love him.
Love Actually. Everything's linking this week. So, yeah, and I was like, oh, this could be good. It was only when the behind-the-scenes featurette kind of properly showed that they have essentially done a Birdman on this, in that the entire film is going to be shown in a single shot from start to finish. And for the last couple of weeks, if not months, we've been hearing the potential Best Picture Oscar nominees and everything. And it was only when the film was finally screened early to critics in the States this week that everyone over there was like, oh, hang on. This is a late arrival and potential favourite now for picture, obviously cinematography, director, blah, blah, blah. So here's a quick look at the featurette. The full thing is up on JOE.
It is, yeah.
But here is just the technical marvel. Just have a look.
The First World War starts with literally horses and carriages and ends with tanks. So it's the moment where modern war, you could argue, begins. From the very beginning, I felt this movie should be told in real time. Every step of the journey, breathing every breath with these men, felt integral. And there is no better way to telling the story than with one continuous shot.
3, 2, 1, go, go!
So yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you like war movies?
I don't really wouldn't be my go-to genre, but I love watching behind the scenes stuff like this and seeing how things are done. And you're like, the amount of work that goes into one shot that you're like, oh my God, if anyone knew how much time this took, it's insane.
Because you can imagine, you must be, if you're 9/10 of the way through a single shot in this, be like, I flubbed it, and you have to go all the way back.
That's exactly it. I'm like, you would be the most hated actor on that set if everyone else is everyone, and you can't be a dick. Then you're like, oh, it's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Tie my shoelaces. Sorry, what's that? Oh, yeah.
No, because obviously Mendes is fantastic because he's done Skyfall, and
American Beauty, Jarhead,
Road to Perdition,
Revolutionary Road, which was pretty decent. Yeah.
Everything he does is so different to the thing he's just previously done, except for the 2 Bond movies back to back. But we'll forget Spectre a little bit because it's not as good as Skyfall. And then Deakins is the best cinematographer around. Yeah, he recently won finally for Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
But if you think of like the Coen brothers or just any of the most, or what's it, Sicario, like he, any of the most beautiful films you can think of in recent years, he's probably been involved somehow. So yeah, it's great to see that the two of them, instead of just going, oh, we'll make a World War I movie. It was like, no, we'll make it the most difficult goddamn way we possibly can. You're excited?
No, I'm very excited. I love the featurette. There's like people running with the camera, and then they have to hold the shot on a close up, and then mount it onto like a crane. Which like it technically, I don't even know how you. I would say pre-production on this and planning probably took more time than actually the filming itself.
Probably,
just to get their marks, to know when they're set, for camera movements to know, so actors know where they're standing. Just logistically, you have to appreciate this and how it comes up. But from what the reviews I read, they said it's very different than that. It's not your conventional war film, blood, glory and stuff. It's actually a really fast-moving thriller, kind of like an action film. Kind of like, I presume, kind of like the Mad Max beat, you know, just one continuous long action beat, you know. But Mendes, I always liked him. I think he's a very eclectic filmmaker. He always seems to try different things. I was surprised actually he went with Bond, but he nailed it with Skyfall. As we said, we won't talk too much about Spectre. I think he was sort of...
Bits of it are good.
Bits of it are good, and then parts of it sort of doesn't. But no, I'm really excited about this. And it was Dean Charles Chapman who was Tommen in Game of Thrones. I think the last thing I saw him in was Blinded by the Light, the Bruce Springsteen one, and he's quite good in that. So he's one of the two younger leads.
Did it with George McKay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in other stuff, I assume.
But also, as you said, in the war genre, it does feel like a different type of war genre. And just because of the way it's filmed, you know. I think the last war film I really liked was probably Hacksaw Ridge, which was good, which was unbelievably gory, and then went overtly Christian in certain things because it's...
Was that before or after Dunkirk?
That was... Oh, was that before or after Dunkirk? That's a good question. Could have been before, then Dunkirk, then, if that's
Dunkirk
the case.
was great too, yeah. But very excited for that one. That's out January 10th, so not long to wait.
No.
So they obviously clearly rated for... That's award season, December, January, so they clearly do fancy their chances.
Yeah, and I'd say, again, just for the technical stuff alone, it will do fantastically well. So really, really excited about that one. Again, the full behind-the-scenes featurette is up on Joe. Do check it out because it is hugely impressive. Very, very excited about that. Speaking of exciting, breathless with excitement. Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
Charlie's Angels.
Okay. Because I'm not looking forward to this.
Okay.
Go on.
That's okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why were you not?
Because the
forward?
trailer upset me deeply. Like, as in, it just seemed, you know, they were promoting nearly the soundtrack more than the film. I just didn't think the cast were right for this at all.
There are times in the trailers, or like I remember watching Game Night and thinking, I'm not going to like that. And I love Game Night. So sometimes trailers undersell stuff massively.
Blockers was a terrible trailer.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. That is the case. And then obviously we've lived in the world long enough where we've seen amazing trailers, and then the film you're like, what happened?
Where did that go?
What happened?
What did I walk into?
So before we go much further, here is a clip of that trailer that Justine hates so much.
I think women can do anything.
Just because they can doesn't mean they should.
But I have so many talents.
It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender.
I'm just a decoy stud.
That's just the way you make me feel.
Who steals humanitarian aid money?
Outstanding. Angels.
Do you still hate it? Do you still hate that trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, second time.
I do appreciate the problem in that, like, it does seem like an album trailer. Because a lot of Ariana Grande, a lot of Nicki Minaj mentioned, because obviously they actually do the soundtrack for the movie, trying to emulate the Independent Woman song from the first one. And then who did the second one? Pink.
Feel Good Time, which is amazing.
Yeah.
William, that's written by Beck.
Produced by William Orbit. So that was a banger. So they're obviously gone for the bangers again in this one. Not the most important aspect of the film.
No.
Just want to mention it and then get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think?
Well, before I get into review, we were lucky enough to chat to the Angels and the new Bosley, who is Elizabeth Banks, who is also the writer.
Love Elizabeth Banks.
Also the producer. Also the director. Kept busy on this one. Yes, like, you don't really like Kristen Stewart.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I prefer Robert Pattinson out of
Okay.
the two
Do
Twilight
you just
stars.
refer to her as Batman's ex?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like that other
You're one
thing.
from Twilight.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
I have a problem. I remember seeing one of those mashups like Kristen Stewart breathing in films, and I can't forget. It's like loads of deep breaths, and ever since I seen that, I just can't shake it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So chatted.
I'm sure she's lovely.
Oh well, Kristen Stewart with Naomi Scott, who actually chatted to earlier this year because she was the new Princess Jasmine in Aladdin.
Oh yes.
And Ella Balinska, who is relatively new, but she was almost Catwoman, but was beaten out by Zoe Kravitz in the end. So, nice long chat with the three of them. If you watch the full interview up on Joe's YouTube, you'll see the interview starts in a really fun way, but it's so short that you have to kind of...
You loved it. You can explain it. We have people listening. Okay.
I'd say just watch it, because it is literally like, that bit is 2 seconds long, and I had a lot of fun with it. But we talked about it a lot, including why the Charlie's Angels franchise, obviously it's very strong female empowerment. 70s was a version of it, the 2000s version as well. But it's got a very strong LGBTQ following. And I was wondering why they thought that might be.
I mean, it is, there's like an element of sort of like kitchen camp. It's like fun. I think also it's like truly celebratory of women, and I think like on both sides of that coin, whether you're like, whether you're a woman or like somebody who's like literally like a queen, you know what I mean?
Or
like
queen.
Of course, like I was like, is that gonna like piss people? I was like, no, I mean that in the most loving way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like I think in our case Liz is doing it slightly more grounded, but it still has an element of like silly fun, and I think that it's empowering.
Well, first of all, the 70s were so fabulous. And also, it's really, it's about female empowerment, and it's about not placing limits on people and sort of letting a group of women sort of live their best lives. And I think the Drew Barrymore films, they were really camp. They were just so fun. They were all about like these incredible costumes and the dress up. And this one is it's about inclusivity and no judgment and love and, the themes that I think we need to be put into the world as much as possible.
So that was the Three Angels and Elizabeth Banks talking about why the Charlie's Angels has such a massive gay following. It's interesting because she's Bosley, replacing Bill Murray, replacing Bernie Mac, and in this film, in the opening scene, replacing Patrick Stewart, not related to Kristen Stewart, but he is the...
Was Bosley ever seen in the TV show?
Bosley was. Charlie wasn't.
Oh,
Charlie's
yes,
always on
yes,
the
because
voice
he
box.
communicated to the box. Yes.
So, on top of that, we talked about, specifically to Elizabeth Banks, because she's the director.
And a
do you
fine
remember?
director.
Do you remember the 2000s one? It was a lot of wire work.
Yes.
There was a whole fight scene with Crispin Glover from Back to the Future as this creepy thin man, and it was set to "Smack My Rut" by The Prodigy. It was actually a pretty cool scene, but it was very much like someone seen The Matrix, and it was like that. Let's do that, but
With girls,
And this one is not like that. This one is the action scenes feel a bit more grounded, a bit more gritty and violent and stuff. So I asked Elizabeth Banks who or what was her inspiration for getting rougher with the girls.
That sequence in particular, we wanted to feel more like a Mission Impossible or a Bourne Ultimatum kind of a sequence. It's the most grounded sequence in the series, and it's in the beginning of the film, partially because I wanted to establish the really real stakes for the movie. That the action in this movie, that they were going to do their own stunts, that nobody has like superpowers. There's no major wire work in the movie. That was all pretty much practically done. Everything in the cafe is practically done, and it's meant to like get your heart racing and also it's the first time that Naomi Scott's character Elena is brought into this world. And I wanted it to feel really dangerous. Like I wanted to think of a scenario that would make you throw up. And it felt like that.
So Jason Bourne.
Wow.
And Mission Impossible.
Wow.
I mean, if you're gonna copy anyone,
Yeah, go in with Jason Bourne because that is all the.
not Jason
action.
Bourne, he's a comedian.
Bourne, yeah.
Bourne.
I wouldn't mind seeing Jason Bourne in an action film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. The other JB, Jack Bauer, James Bond, Jason Bourne.
Jason, do you remember who you are? It's like, no, but I know I'm funny.
Why fight when we could just laugh and talk it out?
Yeah. Just talk it out, Jason. It's fine. When Jason Bourne finally met Jason Bourne,
There's the video.
The Bourne identity.
He
Has
doesn't
that been
know who he
done?
is. That would be great.
Does he have a show like that? With
Does
a
he?
title?
The Bourne Supremacy? The
There's
Bourne
something I
Ultimatum?
think he had. Oh, the Bourne. That's great.
I mean,
Wow.
these are all obvious titles.
We'll get him on the
for-
show. We'll
That he
ask him.
should've,
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you haven't done it already, Jason,
Get
then this
on
is
that.
what you should be calling your tours, obviously.
Yeah.
And finally chatted to the Angels because there's a scene in this that looked like it was a lot of fun to make, but only 2 of them got to do it. Which
Sucks
would
to be the third one, wouldn't it?
It would like if I was the one who didn't get to do the scene, I'd be so jealous, and that's exactly what I said to them. I was like,
You're trying to drive a wedge between Charlie's Angels.
I wanted to know how they got over it because that's something I need to know myself. Is because I'm often excluded from these things and people just don't let me play with them. So
Like the other guy used to be here.
yeah, he's excluded.
got rid of
now.
him.
He's gone forever. So I asked them because you can see clips of it there. They do this kind of amazingly well choreographed dance scene, but Naomi Scott didn't get to do it. She was off in a different alternative action scene at the time. So I was like, how jealous were you that you didn't get to do this dance scene? And it turns out she was super jealous. I would be so mad if I were you, Naomi, because you two got a fantastic dance sequence to be a part of.
She was there learning it. Yes, not.
You just didn't
I'm
get
that
to.
person. You were there. No, we all
I'm like, oh, they're learning a dance. Like, I'll
together.
just hang 1, 2. I'm one of you does it. No, I know, so jealous. But you know what? It was actually really nice watching these two go at it. And also, yeah, being kind of pushed out of their comfort zone, but then also slyly being really good dancers.
Nailing it. Absolutely
Yeah.
nailing it. I was like, even in the screen myself, I was like, yeah, I've got this.
You should have seen it at the start though, like trying to get the, like when he was like trying to tell me how to like. I was like,
He came in like fully rehearsed, obviously, incredible choreographer, and he's like, right, all it is bang, bang, bang.
Do you remember that last move that I didn't do because I was like, I don't think my character would do that.
Yeah, it was
But,
like a
what was it?
sort of
You were
thing.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
the
no,
breakout
man.
thing, and we both sort of had
The
our
breakout. Yeah, and then breakout. And I was
Do you know
like,
what's
no.
funny is that when you watch it as well, you're both doing it so like your characters. You're very just like ease, fluid, and you're just like bam, bam, but like you're so
you're like
precise. Yeah,
locking in.
So the full interviews with Kristen Stewart. It is Kristen Stewart. Kristen
is.
Stewart. I always want to say Kristen Wiig every time it's Kristen Stewart.
Kirsten, that always happens to me.
I have to Google it.
Yeah.
K-R-K-I. It's K-R. But is it Kirsten Wiig or
No.
Kristen Wiig?
Oh, stop it. This is...
It's the girl from Interview with the Vampire. She's in this, right?
Kristen Dunst.
Yes, that's the girl.
It's a real...
People's names, man.
Yeah.
Tell me
I didn't
about
get
it.
into journalism to learn stuff like people's names. you know?
Kristen
Yeah.
Stewart.
There you go. K-Stew.
Yes. Ella Balinska, Naomi Scott, Elizabeth Banks, all the interviews up on Joe right now. The film.
Yes.
Did you like the 2000s one?
I liked
the two of them, actually.
I liked the first one, and I thought the second one was just lost the run of itself a bit too much when they brought in Demi Moore. I thought it was it just went a bit too cartoonish for me. I think, But I think watching them out, they're like good, like turn your brain off, kind of like enjoy them, because like Bond used to have that slapstick action set piece, and now everything's gone very serious, which is great. I think after Casino Royale, all these kind of spy films are very serious, apart from Kingsman, which is why I think Kingsman did really well at the box office. So I do think that this one, I'm very curious to see what it's like.
Well, it's already not done great at the box office in the States, but I think it's better than what it has been getting in terms of reviews and stuff.
Okay.
It's far from perfect. There are times when I think the budget is 65 million, and there are times where it looks cheap, like computer effects, explosions, kind of stuff. And you're just like, just blow up the car. How much can that cost? And also the cast can't have cost that much because no one knows who Ella Balinska is. Naomi Scott is relatively new. But the three of them they have good crack. Kristen Stewart's playing a character we haven't quite seen before. She's kind of a bipolar millionaire who is just doing it just because she can. And she's having some good fun. And Elizabeth Banks is through the whole thing just laying an undercurrent of current feminism, which is very, very funny. Interesting supporting cast. I mentioned Patrick Stewart. What's his face? Sam Claflin is in it.
From Me Before You and Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. Digimon Hanso is in there
Blood
as well.
Blood Diamond as well.
Yeah, like it's a fairly eclectic supporting cast. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's not funny enough to be like, oh, that's a comedy. It's not actiony enough to be like, oh, it's a really good action film. It's not kind of meta or sexy enough to be like, oh, I can see the route you're going with it. It kind of falls between so many stools at the table that you're like, if you just kind of leaned into one of them heavier, maybe this would have been.
I'm always curious because I do think Banks is a good director, like Pitch Perfect films. She's very good, and I think she's a very good career in front of her. I'm always curious when the director makes their first leap into action, what they're like, because it's kind of like completely genre tonal change. Are the set pieces even decent in it?
The first one's pretty good. The first one starts with a fight scene, like a close combat fight scene, which goes into a gun chase, which goes into a car chase, and it's good. And then it just kind of peters out where you're like, oh, this is the bit where they realized they didn't have the money to do what they wanted. Like they must have spent all the money on the wigs because the wigs.
Yeah, there is a lot of wig changes. Just looking there,
but the wigs are great, and like when it leans into the campiness of it, you're like, oh, this is good. But you can tell they wanted it to be taken seriously as well because they're going for the 2019 version of feminism,
which is why, like, that's why I say Kingsman, like, because why I love Kingsman, that they went for the gadgets, they went for all the like the cliche stuff, the spice stuff, they went for the stupid plot of like everyone's head in the world exploding. Like it was a stupid, fun film. I think everyone knew it was. So you're saying this has the elements of seriousness.
Yeah,
I would never have thought the first Charlie's Angels films are like serious action. I wouldn't have taken them like they're not born, you know.
Yeah.
No, and that's kind of part of the vibe they're going for. And I think as well it's like a 12's And if they'd gone a bit raunchier, gone a bit more adult, maybe it would have paid off in a Deadpool kind of way. But instead, it's just okay, and we'll probably have to wait 20 years for it to be rebooted again because I can't see this getting a sequel because, like I said, it didn't make any money, which is unfortunate because I actually would have liked to see them do it again, but better.
Yeah.
So that's Charlie's Angels. Going from that to Knives Out.
Woo!
Okay.
We're all big. We had the trailer on a few weeks ago, didn't we?
We did. It's Rian Johnson, the man who.
Do we settle on Rian or Ryan?
I'm hosting the show. It's Rian. So it's the guy who ruined Star Wars.
Here.
I did this.
Get off it.
So he's the Last Jedi guy. Before we get too much further into it, here is a very short clip from Knives Out.
That all the famous people
every
in the world.
famous person in the world, literally. I think we're in there somewhere.
You.
Okay.
No.
If I could pause, why are we doing all this?
Let's back it up. The family has desperate motives. And when good people get desperate, the knives come out.
You know something. Spill it.
I suspect foul play. No.
Yeah. What?
Did you just Google that?
I did just Google that.
You gotta do this more often.
Okay, so Daniel Craig. Chris Evans wearing the best jumpers and scarves.
Being a jerk.
Like
love jerk.
Gone from America's ass to America's asshole. If you ask me. Toni Collette, Jamie Lee Curtis. Don Johnson,
Anna Damas,
who was fantastic in Blade Runner 2049 and a few other things. The cast is insane. Rian Johnson writing, directing, producing. Doing a murder mystery. Do you like murder mysteries?
Cluedo's a great game.
Cluedo's a...
I'm a
Do you ever see Clue? The movie Clue?
No.
Right. So it was like a 1970s film. Again, really stacked cast based on... Cluedo.
I love it.
But I think there was like 5 or 6 alternative endings. And depending what cinema you went to...
No way.
It had a different murder at the end.
Netflix, the...
Bandersnatch.
That's that.
Or I was thinking, remember, was it Give Yourself Goosebumps, the old book you used to read? And
like a Choose Your Own Adventure thing?
Or Stein books,
But like the whole thing was exactly the same up until I think the last scene. I could be misremembering this because 1970s is so long ago for me now. But like that was a pro and a con in that like there was no real way you could have guessed how it was going to end because it literally could have been anyone. Like you go to see it and then we go see it tomorrow in a different cinema. And, whereas with this, it is much more intricately paced out because we're at Christopher Plummer's 85th birthday party and he is a murder mystery writer and he's found dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. Wow. And Daniel Craig is a world famous, basically Sherlock Holmes type investigator who has been hired by someone, he doesn't know who, just to come and figure out who had killed Christopher Plummer. So he arrives at the home day before the funeral and starts investigating and interrogating all the family members just to see if he can figure out who actually killed Christopher Plummer. Now, I'm not giving anything away, I don't think. You find out who killed him about half an hour in.
Oh my God.
And the rest of the film is basically retroactively how do you continue telling a murder mystery when you know how it ends? Which is interesting because it's not...
He kind of did that with Brick. He broke down the film noir genre and deconstructed it.
Yeah.
So Johnson's done this before. So I'm very curious.
He's and to an extent, he did it with Star Wars. He took everything you thought you knew about Star Wars and was like, and just threw out the stuff he didn't want and made it completely different. And you'll either be
on Looper as well with time travel. Change that up.
So it's either you'll either be on board with it or you won't. I was super on board because it's very intelligently told and it's very entertainingly told. It's very funny. Chris Evans is having a ball, absolute ball.
Great.
Daniel Craig's accent is one for the ages. It's people keep referring to him as like KFC and deep fried.
I like Craig when he goes a bit like Logan Lucky. I like him when he cuts loose a bit because he's reputation for being very serious. But even in like stuff like Layer Cake and stuff like that, there are moments when he kind of unwinds. I really like him when he's a bit of an idiot. Yeah.
The girl from 13 Reasons Why is in this, Catherine.
Yes, surname. Yep.
Yes. Does she do? She's like an Australian, but she always had an American accent. Is she American or Australian?
Yes, she is. She's American. She is, I think, the daughter of Toni Collette in this.
Okay.
Who's also Australian.
General rule of thumb,
but also rocks.
I don't say much insightful stuff, but in this, if Toni Collette is in it, it's probably very good. That's my general rule of film.
That's that's fair, and even if it's not, we know she will be good.
Yeah,
and again, she's brilliant in this. She interacts with everyone really, really well. It's very funny. It's very clever. It'll have you. I don't think you'll, even though you know how it ends. I don't think you'll know how it ends.
Because I was thinking when you were describing it, the problem you said a few weeks ago with The Good Liar is that you're kind of invested. These films really depend on either the twist or the reveal.
Yeah.
And that will make or break the film. Yeah. Does it pay off spending the hour and a half or the 2 hours in the cinema?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like unlike Clue where there's no real way at the end you'd be like, oh, I definitely would have guessed it because how could you have? It could have been anyone. In this, if you are paying attention enough, you can see how it will pay out. But I was paying attention and I didn't see exactly how it was going to play out. So it is. He's a smart film writer, smart filmmaker. And it's great just to see so many famous people just having a ball.
They seem like they're like really playing to the rafters.
Oh,
like
yeah,
playing
yeah,
to the
yeah.
roof. Like,
Yeah,
they're like
because-
larger than life caricatures almost.
Because you seen it was not last year before, Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
It's just a load of famous people in an enclosed space. And it's just a lot of fun hanging out with them and being like, "Is it you? Is it you who killed? Which one you killed?" Owen.
But that lacked a bit of fun. I think. I don't think it was a bit too serious for my taste. I thought Murder on the Orient Express had a lot going for it. The production time was great, and the cast is great, but it just didn't entertain me enough. It I think it thought it was too serious than what it should have been. Whereas this looks like slapstick comedy as well as kind of like, don't forget we have a murder to solve here.
Yeah. There is that, and there's actually Death on the Nile is coming next year, so the sequel to
the
Poirot
series, aren't they?
Gal Gadot is in that one, so that would be like if the murder mystery subgenre is making a comeback.
Yeah,
all on board.
And more of Chris Evans being a jerk.
Yeah, and more of his jumpered scarves.
It's a strong game.
That's like if some fashion line out there was like, we're releasing his scarf and jumper line, like great. That's me set for
Christmas
winter.
Sorted.
And
problems.
I don't know. I'm glad to see Johnson getting some praise because he got so much flack for Last Jedi, and he still continues to get it. I think he's a really
Rian Johnson.
Yeah,
right.
Rian Johnson.
Like Don Johnson.
John Johnson. I always liked him. Like even the Brothers Bloom, which a lot of people think it was stylish. Wasn't fantastic, but I liked so much of his films.
Starring Rachel Weisz.
Yes.
Daniel Craig's
in real life wife.
Yeah. So that's Knives Out. Fantastic. Really, really, really recommend it. What was the other one? I've already forgotten. Charlie's Angels. Oh, yes. That's okay. If you've got it, 2 hours to
We know which one we're going to go see.
Yeah.
Both. At Omniplex. So that's all of this week's reviews. So we're moving on to the High Clue. This is normally Owen's baby.
Yeah. He birthed the High Clue.
Yeah, High Clue. Even in his absence, he was nice enough to send one on for this week. But before we get into it, the winner of last week's High Clue will win tickets to our Christmas movie quiz, the Quizmas.
Yeah.
Which is on December 4th.
That writes itself, doesn't it? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That does write itself, doesn't it?
It's on December 4th in Omniplex in Rathmines. So before we announce who won those, can we get a look at last week's High Clue? Please.
Will you be dressing up as Santa for the Christmas quiz? Or is any
He's
way
going as
festive?
Catwoman, obviously.
I know that
some kind of amalgamation of the two.
Cat Santa.
This is last week's Change of Heart Nets Prize, Graceful Cop's crowning moment, April 25th. The problem was everyone Googled April 25th plus movie.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Despite that.
Are you saying there are people who are nefarious and would cheat on the internet?
Despite that.
Really?
Someone still got it wrong.
Wow.
Paddy
Are we
went
letting
for
him win?
Turner and Hooch. I don't even know how.
I can't talk. I come up with bizarre
Did you get this one?
answers.
I can't remember.
No.
Did you get this?
I don't think I did. No.
No, you did.
I
You were
did,
confident.
and it was because of April 25th, because it's not too warm, it's not too cold, but you can still wear.
It's Miss Congeniality.
It's Miss Congeniality.
Oh my god.
So, Owen didn't send on the what it means, but I can guess. Like Change of Heart, her name was,
Is it
it was
Hart?
Detective Hart.
And she
Sandra
changes,
Bullock.
I guess,
Yeah,
into
Net's
personality.
prize, so she wins the prize, and she was in the net.
Yes.
I think her name was Grace Hart. So Graceful Cop's crowning moment. She
Yeah.
gets the crown.
I
April
should have got
25th
that.
Is the iconic date. And she was a cop as well, and I'm sure there's one or two more in there that in his
Layers.
lasagna layer, but I got most of it. Sorry, Owen. So that was...
Rory always knows his Sandy B.
I do. Yeah. Plus, I had a cardboard cutout of Miss Congeniality in my room.
That's incredible.
Which...
Is that the one when she has the cuffs and then the dress is split up and she's got the gun, the other one or something like that? Yeah.
The gun is on her exposed
holster,
leg.
Holster, yeah.
On the
did
dress.
you take that from the cinema? Or
Yes.
okay, that's okay. I was wondering,
Or
do
what?
people buy them? Like,
No.
would you have bought that?
I think you can online, but
You
like,
probably
yeah.
can, but I was,
Would.
well, A, poor, and B, the internet didn't exist when I was a child.
Would that not freak you out if you woke up in the middle of the night and saw the gigantic Sandra Bullock staring back at you?
We do have
Would you not
Audrey
be-
Hepburn.
Or would
in
you
the
be like,
office.
that's fine?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I know she's keeping a watchful eye on me. She's got a gun.
You're safe.
So this week's High Clue, can we get a look at it?
Last week's winner. Do we have a winner?
Oh, God, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, last week's winner. It's Ross, surname. He sent in the answer with a GIF. So
Great.
you've won a table at the Christmas Quizmas. We will be in contact
good
with
one.
you.
Make sure it's a
Bring
good
Christmas
one.
jumpers. You better look adorable.
Yeah. We'll all be there, hopefully.
Yeah.
Eggnog.
Mulled wine, baby.
Well, just
These are all things that may or may not be there.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Christmassy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
We'll agree on the safe word and we'll put it on our Twitter before you go in, just in case you have to get out of Rory's Christmas
hashtag
party.
safe word.
Yeah.
So this week's high clue, por favor. Derek can't dodge ball. Hooked on angelic princess. Prom pair gel on date.
That's.
I was saying it like that so you could
I think I know this already.
write it down. Write it down.
This could be the first time Justine actually
Write
nails
it down.
it on like while we're recording live. So you have to write it down and show it to Rory.
Okay.
So
Hang on
there's
now.
nothing in there that like doesn't like Derek can't dodge ball. Hooked on angelic princess.
Hooked
Prom pair. Pair is spelled P-A-I-R, not like the fruit.
Did I get? Oh.
Angel on date. Can I see?
I feel like I'm gonna mess it up now.
Where is it?
Is it a first?
It's a first.
It's a first. Yeah! It's a Christmas miracle.
Oh my God.
I'm super happy.
I'm so happy.
But what I forgot to mention is the winner of this gets a very special Charlie's Angels gift pack.
Oh.
Which is like a cool travel bag and AirPods.
And a wig.
And a wig. That I will give you for my own collection. No, there's no wig in there.
You
but
might
there's
want to
like-
wash that wig before you put it on your head.
Fair. Yeah, there's lots of like cool little gadgety things in the bag as well. So if
Cool.
you get this correct, make sure you tweet us at Big Reviewski or
Instagram.
Instagram, yeah. Check out our Instagram.
Carrier Pigeon.
MySpace, Bebo, MSN, all the popular social media apps the kids are using.
And make sure that you also check out the editorial on site for the Quizmas if you
Yes.
want to get a table at it because spaces are limited and it's coming very
Filling
soon.
up.
And think of the prizes.
Incredible.
Think of them. They
Incredible.
could be amazing. I actually don't know. Nobody tells me anything.
It could be anything.
Could be
Christmas dinner at Rory's house. Could be
Yeah.
anything. Invitation. Who knows?
my.
invitation only. So
Yeah.
next week on Reviewski, Irish legend Paul Moore is going
Stop.
to tell us who we're talking to next week.
We have the one and only Colin Meaney.
Can you?
Sitting, he was here.
He was
right
here.
here.
He sat in this seat.
Yeah.
Chatting.
Didn't he?
About his
And
new
even-
movie,
he-
The Last Right.
One of my highlights, he cursed in front of me, and it was not. It was natural. Just hearing him curse like that. That to me is just like the pinnacle
So
up there.
beautiful.
I've seen
A lovely man as well. Lovely man.
I've seen an early cut of this interview, and it is one of my favorite interviews I've seen all year. I thought it was
Yeah.
fantastic,
Yeah.
and I
Stop.
can't wait for you all to see.
Really.
There's
And the
some-
film's
just
pretty
some
good
of those
too.
highlights.
And the film we're talking about, The Last Right, the cast is, you got Brian Cox, probably the best actor on TV at the moment, Succession.
Oh, yeah.
Mikhail Huisman, who we know from Game of Thrones. We
And
got
Hill House?
Haunting Hill House. Niamh Algar, one of the best young actresses coming through Ireland right now. Colin Meaney as well. So it's a really good cast. It's a really good film as well. We'll talk more about it next week.
Yeah, and I think our other big review next week is Motherless Brooklyn, the new Edward Norton directed period gangster movie, which we will get into. We'll get into that one next week.
We'll probably have the high clue. That's probably going to be there next week again.
I can't
There'll
believe
probably be a
Owen
question.
wasn't here to
There could be
see
a
me.
fourth person.
Yeah.
The show
The
next
big
week.
question is, what happened to that fella? The one who used to be always here. I don't
Yeah.
know. I swear we had a fourth person.
That's
here.
our murder mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right. Let's
Well,
get,
it's
Let's
not
see if we
really a
can
good
solve it next
It's
week.
not really a
out.
good one. One of us killed him, so like, which one of us was it? You know.
I mean, just because I'm sitting in his chair doesn't mean.
But if you watch the episode again, there's been subtle clues.
If
dropped
you watch it
throughout.
in
Right.
reverse, you'll see what might come out of it.
It was Rory.
So please subscribe and thank you so much, Justine. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, other
Rory.
Paul behind the scenes,
Fiona.
Fiona, everyone who helps out in the show every single week. Do
See the murder mystery, the cast expand. It could be one of those guys as well.
behind the scenes murderers. I've been saying it for years. Can't trust anyone who isn't on camera. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And please come back next week if you're still alive.
Rory was good, wasn't he? He was really good. Yes, yeah.
Stepping up to the challenge.
Good man, Rory. Good man.
It's okay.
We're gonna
All this makes it look hard.
coup d'état. Coup d'état. Coup d'état.